I'm going to share my personal journey of faith and show you how trusting Jesus can change your life in ways you never imagined. Eternal salvation is a concept that can be hard to wrap our heads around, but at its core, it's about trusting Jesus with our lives. It's about believing that He has our best interests at heart and that He's working everything out for our good. But what does that really look like in our daily lives? For many of us, the idea of eternal salvation can feel like a distant dream, something that we're striving for but not really sure if we'll ever achieve. We might feel like we're doing all the right things, but still, there's this nagging sense of uncertainty. Are we really doing enough? Are we really good enough? The truth is, eternal salvation isn't something we can earn or achieve on our own. It's not about checking off a list of good deeds or following a set of rules. It's about surrendering our lives to Jesus and trusting that He's got it all under control. So, what does it mean to trust Jesus like never before? It means letting go of our need for control and our desire to understand everything. It means believing that He's working all things together for our good, even when we can't see how. Let's talk about the struggles we face in our faith journeys. Have you ever felt like you're walking through a dark valley, and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel? You're not alone. We've all been there at some point or another. I remember a time when I felt like I was stumbling through my faith, trying to make sense of things, but feeling so lost and uncertain. I'd pray and pray, but I wouldn't hear anything back. It was like God was silent, and I was left to figure things out on my own. Maybe you've been there too. Maybe you felt like your prayers are hitting a brick wall, and you're not sure if anyone is even listening. It's a scary place to be, but it's also an opportunity to grow and to learn. In those moments, it's easy to doubt God's goodness and His love for us. We might start to wonder if He's really there, if He really cares. We might feel like we're all alone, and that no one understands what we're going through. But here's the thing, God is always with us, even when we can't feel Him. He's always working, always moving, always speaking, even when we can't hear Him. And sometimes, it takes a crisis of faith to realize just how much we need Him. I want to share with you a transformative moment in my own faith journey. It was a moment when I realized that I didn't have to have it all together, that I didn't have to understand everything. It was a moment when I realized that I could trust Jesus, no matter what. I had been struggling with anxiety and fear for months, feeling like I was drowning in a sea of uncertainty. But one day, as I was praying, I felt this weight lift off my shoulders. It was like the burden of responsibility had been taken from me, and I was finally free to rest in Jesus. In that moment, I realized that I didn't have to have all the answers. I didn't have to know what the future held. All I had to do was trust Jesus. It was a profound realization, one that changed the course of my life. From that day on, I began to see the world in a different light. I began to see that everything is working together for my good, even when I can't see how. I began to trust Jesus in ways I never thought possible. When we trust Jesus like never before, our lives begin to change in ways we never thought possible. We start to see the world through new eyes, eyes of faith and hope and trust. We start to see that everything is working together for our good, even when we can't see how. We start to experience a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that guards our hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. We start to feel the weight of our burdens lifting, as we realize that we don't have to carry them alone. We start to live lives that are marked by joy and hope and love, lives that are poured out for others. We start to see the world as a place of beauty and wonder, a place where God is always working and always moving. So, what does it mean to trust Jesus like never before? It means surrendering our lives to Him, surrendering our doubts and fears, and surrendering our need for control. It means believing that He's working all things together for our good, even when we can't see how. Trusting Jesus like never before is not a one-time event, it's a lifestyle. It's a choice we make every day, a choice to believe that He's got it all under control. So, I want to leave you with a challenge today. I want to challenge you to trust Jesus like never before. I want to challenge you to surrender your doubts and fears, and to believe that He's working all things together for your good. Will you take that step of faith with me today? Will you choose to trust Jesus like never before? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more inspiring content, and be sure to check out our next video on how to deepen your faith in times of uncertainty.